They still think of the past. Intimate fullness. Day after day. Intimate fullness. Day after day. Your passion, take it from me. I'll swear to you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, I'll swear to you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wept for day after day. Without flowers blossom in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. Intimate fullness, day after day. Intimate fullness, day after day. Your passion, take it from me. I'll swear to you when to make yourself happy. Your passion, I'll swear to you when to make yourself a hero. Without flowers, forget what they've wept for day after day. Without flowers blossom in the stream of tears, they still think of the past. Intimate fullness, day after.
What is good, people? It is the KOA podcast. I am Satsuki the Savage. He is everything animated. What is good, people?
Hello, everybody. We have finally made it to the summer 2025 anime season. And boy, are you in for a good one today. We are talking about 4 brand spanking new ones. Well, we're talking about Dandadan. We did talk about it last week, but got a good episode today. We got Dandadan. We got My Dress Up Darling. We got My Friend Up and Died. It's Haruku. No, hold on. Summer. Oh my God. You take it.
my friend that I'm totally not in love with. One summer.
Yes, that. And Kaoru Hana, which is another one. Romance heavy this summer, but that's just this week. Next week we're gonna have more.
You know the crazy thing too about what you just said, because all the series that we're talking about low key also have romance embedded in it, even if it's not a centerpiece of it. Like Dandadan has romance that's underlying trait in the series, and then I don't know how you feel. We're going to talk about the summer Hikaru died, but I feel even that series has a little bit of that too.
Oh yeah. Especially towards the end. You know what? Where it's hinted, you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be interesting to talk about. But yes. So if you're new here, this is the King of Anime podcast. We review a lot of seasonal anime. Not everything, mind you, because that would be way too much for us. But we pick some of our favorites ones that sound good, and then we give it the old 3-episode watch, and then we put it on the cutting board or the chopping block, so to speak. We decide we want to kill it if we don't want to watch it anymore, or we pass it and we keep watching it. And last season we killed a couple, so not everything passes like it used to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the show.
We're serious. We're ruthless. We're cutthroat. We're tired of the mid. We're tired of the ass anime. If you ain't up to par, your ass is going. It's really that simple.
Pretty much. I mean, you got to entertain us.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, pay me.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how it works. So that's the show in a nutshell.
Although you see the shows that we're covering now, there are 2 shows that are coming, so to speak. They are the Vegeta and Nappa waiting in their pod. We have Sakamoto Days season 2 as well as Tengo Anki. Tengo Anki is going to air tomorrow, actually.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
So we weren't able to cover that on this or today's podcast, and Sakamoto Days is also going to be next week. So those shows we will be covering along with these shows, at least for the time being. Like EA said, 3-episode rule, then we decide. Killer Pass, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yep. And Satsuki, I think I'm going to cut you right to the chase. Cut right to the chase, because I got something that'll never, ever give you the blues.
Ever.
Get ready for the KOA.
It's Miracle!
But I'm going to call you. Just don't ever.
Bitch said she looked like Janet Jackson, or like Freddie Jackson.
I know. She's like, I just thought you two would have gotten along. You knew she was bald-headed.
I love that movie, man.
Oh, but a classic, for sure. So, something happened last week. You may have heard of it if it slipped through the cracks. I don't know. I mean, it's Anime Expo 2025.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of fucking animes were announced. I'm going to go over the ones that I feel like are relevant, because I don't give a shit about what's-her-face speaking Russian got a season 2. I don't give a fuck. Let's see. Bleach's absolute final season for the 1,000-Year Blood War comes out next year. I'm sure a lot of Bleach fans are super excited for that one. Let's see. Season 3 for good old Motensei. We got the Rising Dick arc coming in season 3.
That actually sounds like a separate anime.
It does. ReZero season 4 is coming out next year as well. So I still need to watch season 3.
Me as well.
Yeah. Winter 2026 season 2 of Frieren comes back. Looking forward to that very much.
You said winter 2026?
Yeah, it's going to be January, so winter 2026. So it's coming up soon.
Yeah, 6 months from now, give or take.
Yeah, Cyberpunk announces a complete season 2 with completely different characters. So Cyberpunk is going to have another season, just new people. Should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they can do it because the setting itself is interesting, just with the futuristic and the futuristic setting and like the robotic limbs and all. They can do another season. I'm just wondering exactly what they'll do, because that show
the first season was great.
I liked it. But it's that show, I feel, is very heavily reliant on the cast. Like, you like that show because you like the cast members. They're likable characters. So it's kind of hard to build that repertoire with the audience again with a whole new cast. But I'm interested in it. It definitely can do it. Seems like they're going for a whole universe with this thing, and yeah, it'll be cool to see what they do.
I agree. Totally agree. There's a new anime coming out next spring called Chicken versus Demons, which I don't know if you saw the trailer for that, but it's basically like the main heroine is a fucking chicken, and he fights demons. Which you sold me just on the description alone. It's
I'm very
weird.
confused.
Just look at the trailer, chicken versus demons, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, let's see. Oh, next year, season 3 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Apparently, they're really hyping this one up. They're saying that it's going to surpass everyone's expectations, and the animation's gonna be like done. They're not going to kill everybody to get the season out. It's actually going to like surpass everything. That's their words, not mine.
Listen, as a person, as a person that has read Jujutsu Kaisen, there is no way in hell next season is going to be better than what they did last season.
I mean, isn't last season's considered the best in the whole manga?
Yes. I mean,
I'm not sure.
They can make it look better for sure. I don't know how much that's going to enhance the manga content, because that's the real issue here. I will say though, there is going to be a section of Jujutsu Kaisen which I feel like people may make the argument that next season could be better just because of a section that's going to be there in the season that a lot of people are going to be really hyped for.
Okay. Yeah, so looking forward to that. Did we kill it on this show? I don't think we did.
No.
We may be talking about it, so
we watched it the whole way through.
Okay, so we're more than likely talking about it next year, so get ready for that. My series, Classroom of the Elite Season 4, is coming next year. It's such a stupid show, but I can't help myself but watch it. It's like a guilty pleasure of mine. It really is.
I'm surprised that show has kept, or the anime has kept going, especially like how much like content they have from that series.
I know, like the first season came out and then like nothing came of it, but then the second season came out like 5 or 6 years after the first season, and then it was just like boom, boom, boom after. I'm like, I'm not complaining. I'm enjoying it. Full Metal Alchemist creator is creating a new anime.
Ooh.
It's going to be called Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Oh, I think we talked about that one time.
Maybe, but I'm just like, hey, I'm all for it. She's creating it. It's going to come out with new anime. I saw it. It's like a little teaser trailer for it. Looks good. She definitely likes her blonde hair heroines, and it's another blonde haired guy with an arrow basically taking on demons and stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah, that should be interesting. But that was kind of like the major stuff that came out at Anime Expo. Like I said, I don't care about all the little teeny tiny anime series, but big news, Satsuki. This is probably one of the biggest things to ever happen. Netflix confirms that anime is mainstream. Basically, they said that 50% of global Netflix members, which is over 150 million, watch anime. The genre is reaching more audiences around the world than ever before. In 2024 alone, just last year, anime was viewed over 1 billion times on Netflix, which, with that viewership tripling over the past 5 years.
I can see that. I mean,
it's the same.
It's, for one, it's more accessible with multiple streaming platforms having it available. It's not like this. The stigma around it has been normalized, where, or the stigma around it has been removed of it being like this nerdy thing, like the nerd culture.
You're not a weirdo.
Yeah, the nerd culture thing of anime has, I won't say completely stripped away, but it's lessened over time. Yeah, like you said, you're not the weirdo for watching anime, because there are a lot of mainstream anime now where it's acceptable to watch it. People are like, oh, you're watching Solo Leveling? Cool. You're watching Dragon Ball Z? Cool. Wait, you're watching
Attack on Titan?
Yeah, Attack on Titan. But it's like, oh, you're watching that time I got reincarnated as a fencing sword, and I I pierce the butthole of my opponent. It's like,
Maybe not so much that one.
Yeah, what are you doing? But yeah, yeah, anime has kind of just become. It's kind of how it's always supposed to have been treated. Just it's TV,
And that just makes me so happy because I definitely feel like it's a huge stigma. It's just a whole. I mean, it's definitely not now, but I remember just like back then, it's just, oh, this is catered towards kids. I won't watch this because it's animated. Animated equals baby stuff. It's like, that's not the case. And I'm glad that I feel like we had to wait for generations to kind of like grow up and kind of influence their kids, kind of like what I did with my son. And they passed it along to their friends. And they're just like, oh, this stuff's great. And yeah, I agree. Nerd culture is definitely at an all-time high, especially with conventions being big. And I feel like they just get bigger and bigger every year. So just congratulations, nerd culture. You did it.
Yeah, it's internet culture as well. Like as we because a lot of anime fans may have felt like they were alone in their hobbies and whatnot, but with the rise of the internet and you getting to see the daily lives of everybody around from miles away from you, you get to see that people have the same interests as you, and you build communities and things start to spread when more people start to talk. It's as simple as that. So anime has begun to spread, from a wide array. Whereas, before the internet, before people were able to talk to people miles away, people were keeping these interests to themselves. It was you weren't just going to go out there and, I don't know, go out on the street and be like, hey, you watch Dragon Ball Z? No.
Who are you and what's Dragon Ball Z?
Kamehameha. He's summoning the devil.
Yeah. That's what it would be like. No, you're 100% right about that. I mean, this past couple weeks alone, whenever I do my dodgeball every Tuesday, like both times I heard people talking about anime, and I just did one of these where I just scooted on over and just was like, I'm a big fan. I know this. What you talk about, I know Freerun, I know all this other stuff.
Yeah,
but then you kind of
anime. Yes. I am a connoisseur of such things.
I will admit, when you do that, you do realize how nerdy you are compared to the person that just name dropped whatever anime they were talking about, and then you go, "Oh shit, I'm a mega nerd compared to this person."
Yeah,
because they were like, "Oh, I just watched Freerun," and you're like, "Dang it,
you gotta feel them out to see how deep they are into it."
Right. It's like I laid it on too thick. But those are the best whenever you get somebody new and you just start talking about stuff that you like, and then you just go back and forth, and then they recommend stuff to you, you recommend stuff to them. Oh, it's great. I love it. And that happened, like I said, these past couple weeks. So
yeah.
All right. Almost done. Just a quick little bits here and there. I don't know why Netflix always got to be doing this, but I guess they figured One Piece works, so they got to do it with everything else. Solo Leveling is now going to have a live action adaptation. So, I mean, there you go.
Why?
I don't know. There's already an anime that's good. It's like, why do you need a live action adaptation? So, I don't know.
Did you say it's Netflix again?
It's Netflix again.
Oh my, that explains it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They did it with One Piece, so they figured, let's do it with everything else. And also, people love Squid Games, so we're gonna have Korean people in it and do it this way. So I don't know. They're just looking at it for money. The Demon Slayer. Oh, go ahead.
Did you watch Squid Game season 3?
Still, I still haven't even watched season 2. I'm just so bad. God. I'm so bad. I know. To be honest, I would have watched it a long time ago, but I have to wait on my girlfriend to watch it. So it's one of those things where it's just like, if I know the second I start, why didn't you wait for me? Okay, I'm sorry. We can go back. But Yeah, so I want to. It's getting around to it. I know she's gonna hear this and chew me out later. But Demon Slayer, apparently the movie that's coming out is listed at being 2 hours and 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's listed as that. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dark Knight levels of length. I'm like, holy crap. That's a long movie.
Makes sense. Though.
Yeah. Is that it? Hold on.
Crepper Store said, "Don't ask why is Sasuke chicks accepted." I mean, that's all I've been doing.
New series by creator of Mob 100 and One Punch Man 1 releases Volume 1 Spring 2016. It doesn't say what it's. Bug Ego.
Yeah. I there's some people in my server that read that series. The art is crazy.
Yeah, it's not by Yusuke Murata. It's by.
It's a different artist.
Shitara. Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
One is definitely doing his thing. What can I say? Let's see. Oh, Crunchyroll was caught using ChatGPT to make subtitles. Oh, are we all shocked?
Yeah,
are we shocked, anybody?
We talked about that last week.
I thought we did. It's just rehashing it then. Penny and Stocking returned after 15 years. Satsuki. I heard from a bird that you may have watched the first episode.
I may have watched the first episode dubbed, that is. Just to see well, for starters, I just want to experience Panty and Stocking dubbed. Not to disparage any of the Japanese voice actors, but I feel like that series is just better served in dubbed, especially for me, because a lot of his humor is Americanized, you know, a lot of the profanity, a lot of the jokes that they have. So I watched the first episode dubbed, and
do I need a drum roll?
No, not necessary. Not necessary.
Okay.
I didn't like it.
Oh no.
You know what's the crazy thing? Christina V is the voice actress for Stalking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your girl.
And I do not think she does a good job at Stalking. Like, her voice is so high pitched at Stalking, and I don't know why. And here's the thing too, because you never want to compare them to the other actresses or actors, because you don't want to go like, oh, they're not doing that voice, so it's bad. But I genuinely just don't think some of these performances are that great. I think the actor who plays Garter Belt does a good job. So no Chris Sabat. They just cast a black guy.
They did. Okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It worked. I think he does a good job. Scanty and Knee Socks, I they didn't really talk that much, so I couldn't really get a gauge for it. But they sound passable. I gotta hear Panty more. Panty to me wasn't the actress who played Panty. That is, her performance was decent just from the first episode that I watched, but I did not like Christina V as Stalking.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here, folks. KOA gives it the seal of disapproval. No, I'm kidding. But at least from the first episode, who knows? It maybe possibly could get better, but that stinks. I'm sorry to hear that. That's even with the voice. Like, now I'm curious, and this will be like the last question I ask about it, because we could save our thoughts later on. But does it seem like the humor is kind of the same, or do you think it's kind of toned down because of 2025?
It's the opposite.
Really?
It's
they went full on.
But here's the thing. It's the opposite in a bad way. I feel that they don't realize what made Panty and Stocking funny. I think it's overdone.
Okay.
I think it's
So they're, like,
overdone.
doing a bunch of dick jokes, but not understanding why the dick joke was funny to begin with.
Yeah, it's a lot of like the first episode alone just has a whole bunch of bitches, which I mean that's panty and stocking, right? But I think, like I said, I feel like it's overdone to where it's like, all right, this is panty and stocking. We got to have a whole bunch of profanity. Let's cuss a lot. Let's be vulgar. Which again, that is panty and stocking, but I don't think is scarce enough the way to make it actually funny, because I don't really think I laughed too much other than maybe 2 scenes that happen in it. It still has like the absurdity of it where everything feels very grandiose, just like how a lot of these trigger / Gainax anime are. But man, you gotta be talking too much. You gotta be talking too much. We gotta save this for Patreon stuff. We gotta save this for the Decrepit Storm.
Okay. Yeah. So there you have it. That's a little nibble. If you want us to get more in depth and my perspective as well, and maybe even a full episode analysis, play by play, subscribe to our Patreon. Link in the description in the chat.
$1.
Well. $1 stinking freaking dollar. Did you happen to watch any other animes that came out recently? Other than the ones that we already watched? Have not. Okay. Well, this will be the last thing I mentioned before we jump right into the seasonal anime. But basically, I like to kind of like go exploring and like check around and see what animes are doing well. And some were hits, some were misses, some were just okay. There was definitely an anime that came out that I feel like a lot of people are talking about, and I just so happened to see it like just in passing, because the first episode alone is like one of the highest rated animes of the year, and I was just like, okay, what makes this series so good? You may have heard of it. It's called, well, and when I say you, I'm talking about everybody. Y'all may have heard of it. It's called Takopi's Original Sin. And on the surface, it definitely looks like something that, okay, why is this getting such a high rating? Why is this something that's so great? I won't say much because, to be honest, talking about it would spoil it heavily. But basically, all you need to know is that it has kids in it, but it is not for kids. It is dark. It's an OVA. It's only going to be 6 episodes long, and so far the 2 episodes are out. Definitely watch the 2 episodes, because the first episode alone is like, holy shit. The second episode brings it home, where you're just like, did that just happen? Oh my god. And I want to say, if there's an anime to watch, and I'm speaking as somebody who's seen it and not watched the remaining 4 episodes, because who knows, maybe the ending sucks, and I don't know. But just speaking from the 2 episodes that I saw from there, if you're to watch any anime this season, I think this one may be it.
Maybe we got to talk about it then.
Yeah, I really think this may be one that needs to be talked about, because it is, wow. It is like I can just leave it at that. It's just, whoa, holy crap. So
yeah,
and I don't think that number where they rated it really high is overhyped either. I can understand why it's rated that way. It's so unique. The animation style is real. I don't know. It's ugly. It's not pretty, and that's by design.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm looking at it now. Oh, you know what? This makes so much sense. What's
that?
I'm looking. I was seeing if this was based on the adaptation, and it is. This is the, and I do not know his name off the top of my head, but this is the same mangaka who wrote Poon Poon, if I'm not mistaken. If you're familiar with that series.
I'm not familiar. Poon Poon?
Yeah, it's like this really dark psychologically harming manga that people generally talk about whenever they mention like great signing series. Jesus Christ. Let me get his name up here because he's written a lot. Actually, wait a minute. Am I wrong? Wait, I think I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
Please pause while we find out the author.
Okay. Taizan 5. The art looks very similar though. He has a couple of other series, none that I'm familiar with. Hero Complex, called Kiss Chitai Otoko. But yeah, it is based on an adaptation. Very short series, that's why it's 6 episodes. It's a ONA original net animation, so that means it's not being broadcast on TV. It's just being put on the internet streaming sites.
Yeah.
6 episodes.
Yeah. And I will admit, for those of you with weak constitutions and maybe get triggered easily, it's a hard watch. It is a hard watch. And I watched this back on Monday. I just did it just to see if I would even like the first episode. And then I went on to watch the second episode after I worked a full shift of work. So I was like invested. Like that's how much I was like into what was going on. And just like, holy crap, what's going to happen next? Especially with how episode 2 ends. Sheesh.
Yeah. But yeah, we may talk about that also. Patreon. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah,
to be continued.
Definitely sounds interesting. But I think it is about time we get into the summer anime, starting with none other than the anime that we covered. How long has it been at this point? 2 years?
Like 3 years? Didn't it come out in 2022?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Decrepit, if you could run that back, when did we first talk about My Dress Up Darling? I'm pretty sure it was
you're right. 2022.
Came out, sweet. So 3 years.
Came out winter 2022.
Wow. A little over 3 years.
Jesus.
Maybe even 3.5 years. Sheesh.
Damn, it doesn't even feel that long.
I'm flying.
My Dress Up Darling, season 2, episode 1. We are back with the crew, Maureen, Gojo, and a whole bunch of anime characters that we're not familiar with.
Yeah. I want to say something first and foremost. Cloverworks realized what they had, and they said, yeah, that animation looks good in season 1. Let's turn it up a fucking notch all the way to the max. And I don't know if you noticed this, Sasuke, but they went hard on this first episode where the animation was stellar. Mm-hmm. It looked so good. They even made the anime that they were watching and it looked good. It almost looked like a mini Trigger sort of thing.
That's what I was going to say with it. Like the anime within the anime looked like something that Trigger or Gynex would have made. It looked like Gurren Lagann to me. I was
it looked smooth. The parts were like blowing up and all the crazy fluid movements throughout this whole anime was just gorgeous. Just looked so good. And I don't know, like I said, that was just something that I noticed where I was just like, yeah, they realized what they had and they're running with it.
The entirety of the anime within the anime, Sucom looked way better than Ranger Reject for his whole season.
Isn't that sad? Grandpa Storm says it's good to have this series back. Yes, it is. I enjoyed this episode. It was a nice welcome return.
Yeah, this is a feel-good series, especially for me. It's just really lighthearted. I think it kind of, I don't know, it resets your palette with some of the things that you may be watching, especially with us watching The Summer Hikaru Died. You may want like a palette restarter with something like this, get your day a little brighter.
Yeah, this is indeed a feel-good series. I guess we can begin essentially we got a new costume, everybody. We have bunny girls. And if you don't think bunny girls are great, Maureen will tell it to you with her demon eyes. They're fantastic. Don't you dare talk bad about them.
She looked like she was about to kill Gojo.
When she gets obsessed over something, she gets passionate about it. Like in the first season when she's talking about that hentai game and how she's doing that thing with her eyes. She's just like, oh my God, I love that series. And then talk about bunny girls. She's just like, everybody loves the bunny girls. You've never seen Bunny Girl Senpai. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it's one of these things to where Maureen has another anime that she's obsessive over. And of course, she has a character that she fawns over and wants to cosplay as. So it's up to Gojo to see how feasible it is to make a cosplay of it, which I don't think we talk enough about how talented this guy actually is to be able to tailor these outfits. I mean, this one was a lot more simple, especially because you would have a basis to work with, considering like it's not that unique of an outfit, but to be able to, what he does is he's a stickler for the details. So he wants to make it exactly how the anime has it, because the big dilemma with this episode was that how the boob, I'm just calling it the boob flap was of the costume, how it was sitting, you know, because it was like, oh, we could just adjust it like this, and he's like, fuck no. So yeah, it was all about him trying to navigate exactly how he can make it as accurate as possible. And we saw how obsessive he was over being a stickler for the details, how that was in season 1. Like, he will literally stay up all night figuring out how to do the shit.
Yeah. He went a couple of times when he had purple smoke coming out of him. Literally, I don't know what that is. He needs to see a doctor ASAP. But yeah, he stays up all night looking at every details, writing it down, doing the sketches. Good artist too, for somebody who's great at doing the little dolls that he does, great at making a cosplay, and he's a good artist too. This guy's a talent.
He can cook as well.
And he's a cook. He's great at cooking. Oh, yeah, he's in the wrong profession. He's a teenager and he's doing this. He's only going to get better when he gets older.
We said this before when we first talked about My Dress Up Darling, but one thing that I do like about a series like this, where how many series have we seen this template work, where you have a very eccentric girl who is outgoing, super pretty, and then you have the basic guy. How many series do we have that? I like this series because Gojo has a lot of great qualities about him that people may not appreciate. And he just is genuinely a catch. I feel like that's missing in a lot of romance, where they make one side of it like very appealing, like, oh, they got this and this and this and this, and another side is like, I was nice to her.
Seriously, I gave her a fucking tissue when she like fell that one time and was like, you can keep the handkerchief, and she loves me ever since then. And other than that, they're boring, they're lazy, they play video games all day, they don't do jack.
Yeah,
I agree with you, Satsuki. Gojo is truly a catch, because not only is he talented, but he's a cook and genuinely a nice guy. He's just all around, I agree. Anyone would be happy to have him. Just in this case, Marin has fallen head over heels. She freaking loves him. I'm going to say that because he's not here.
and she a couple of times wanted or showed and expressed her thoughts to trying to make their relationship a lot more boyfriend girlfriendish. But first it started with the whole Pocky kiss thing.
Oh yes,
we seen that before, and she brushed it off as a joke, like just kidding, but she wasn't. And then later on, when Gojo invited her over to his house, she thought it was going to be for a date, but he just wanted to talk business about how how the hell to fix this costume up.
I don't know why she thought otherwise. I mean, this is a man who gets obsessed in his craft. It's like, what else would he have said?
Yeah.
Has he ever just flat out asked her out on a date?
Don't think so. No.
That's why I'm just like, oh, she should have known better. But I get it. She's just a teenager in love, and she's just, thinking 20 steps ahead when really it's just, oh, he just wants to put the costume on me.
Yeah. Also, there's a weird scene when Maureen and Gojo are on top of the stairs together, where when Maureen leaves to go with her friend Arisha, or not Arisha, Noah. There's a weird scene where Maureen leaves with Noah, and then Noah just lingers and kind of just stares at Gojo for a while. And we kind of see how that bears fruit at the end of the episode, but
yeah, I was just like, dang, she's got very big expressive eyes for somebody so small. Her eyes were huge. Decrepit says it was probably the first time he invited her over instead of her just showing up at his house uninvited. Yeah, I guess she does like to do that. But yeah, that's he's just like on his phone, just watching the anime. She's looking at him like, this motherfucker over there talking to Marin, wanting the Pocky in the mouth. The fuck, what are you? And
the other big thing though was, and I thought this was hilarious, was when Gojo goes to a store to get the materials that he need for the costume, and then there's this old guy, the employee that he talks to, and he's like, he shows him the sketch, and he's like, yeah, I need this. And while he's doing it, he's looking very earnest. You look into his eyes, he's very serious. The old guy's like, wait, you want the bunny? You want the bunny costume? He's like, well, it is 2025. Times are changing.
And you know what? Good for him. Good for that old man for not being a hateful bigot and just being judgmental old fart, not being a stereotypical, things aren't as good as they used to be. Yeah. He actually embraced it. I'm like, good. That was great.
So he had a whole character arc in the space of 10 seconds.
Yeah, he really did. Where it was like, you kind of like understood his upbringing, where it was like, well, maybe he's always been a bit progressive, and he was just like, well, this is a new era. All right, here we go. And before he could even like finish his sentence, or he did say it. He was like, well, what were you looking to wear? So, and then Maureen comes and does her thing, and he was just like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Why did I think it was him? Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize, sir. I mean, yes, you can find that stuff over there.
To be fair, I mean, we have so many like cross-dressing cosplays. There's women dressing as men dressing as women. So
in this episode, there's a guy dressed up as a girl cat. You know, has the full-on dress and the cat ears and everything.
Yeah.
And like nobody bats an eye. And I'm like, that's actually kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah. I guess we're not really even jumping ahead because it wasn't that much to talk about this episode. But I think because this kind of ties into like the conflict that Gojo was experiencing within this episode, I think Maureen's friend group being so nonchalant about what you just said about the guy dressing up as a girl, about those things in particular, led to the big thing that happened with Gojo in this episode, which was he was shocked by how nobody shunned him for his hobbies of making dresses or the Hina doll thing, because that was a source of his insecurity that has existed, I mean, even still now. But he's come to think back about the one moment, because he harps where it originated from was this girl saying that he was creepy for making these dolls, and saying, like, that's not
Boys
what a
don't
boy
play with
does.
dolls.
Yeah.
Boys don't play with dolls. Boys don't play with dolls.
So like that was a big source of his insecurity, but then he kind of sees Maureen's friend group who are very nonchalant about it. One of the guys is like, yeah, my brother does cosmetics and like this is normal, we don't really care. Them being that nonchalant about it made him just go like, wait, I can just be myself and not have to worry about gender norms or anything of the sort. And I think that's always been this series like superpower about having this lighthearted tone and really just being a beacon of like hope and pride of someone just enjoying the things that they like. Whether it be stuff that's linked to nerd culture, cosplay, whatever it may be, Hina dolls, because I think it's very inclusive in a bubble that it is telling the story. So I thought that was a really cool scene.
No, that was really great because I thought the same thing. Where, Gojo. I mean, I don't know if you've been in situations like that, but when you're just like with a group of new people and you only know one person, you're just like, oh God, are they going to be cool with me?
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to think that I'm weird? What do I have to do to break the ice? And then you realize, oh, these guys are really cool. There's nothing wrong with them. I should stop freaking out. That's what it kind of reminded me of, where you're just like, all right, cool. I can let down my guard and just kind of, see where this goes.
Yeah.
Get some new friends.
And then all of that gets broken up by Noah, who throughout this whole thing is doing karaoke. She's singing her heart out. And the lyrics get a little weird towards the end of it.
She is tone deaf as fuck. She is screaming into the microphone. Yeah, I'm gonna sing this song. Like, wow. She is screaming, not singing, she's screaming.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she the lyrics start to change up, and then she's like, hey, Mari and Gojo, are you guys going out or something?
Spits out his drink in a bunny costume.
I don't think that was a part of the song. I think you missed the note right there.
Right. Oh my God. Decrepit Storm said Gojo copied Yuno's costume.
Oh God.
I didn't even think of that. We can't escape the future diary or anything. It just creeps its way back.
Jesus Christ.
Man. But yeah, he was a bunny that whole time. He's like, no, I'm cool. Looking like this, sweating my ass off in a bunch of room with hot girls and hot guys. Ugh. Kill me.
But what do you think is going to be the response to what Noah? Because Noah opened Pandora's box, so to speak. She put it out on the table. Because we already know how Maureen feels about it, and we already know Gojo is horny for Maureen at the very least.
Oh,
so.
Fucking A! This episode, he was super horny for her. We didn't even talk about that, but he's essentially like taking her photos when she's finally dressed up in the bunny skirt and everything, and he's just like. I have a massive erection.
Yeah,
we need to take a break.
There's the scene where she had like the skin color stockings, whatever. So it looked like because she had the adhesive panties. Because of how the outfit is shaped, it's like if she wore panties normally, it would stick out. So she had to,
and we got to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we got to see that in this episode because she calls for his name, Gojo. He's like, yeah. First of all, if you don't want him to walk in, maybe you shouldn't have said that. It's like, could you? Yeah, let me see. Opens the door, sees her literal panties and everything else sticking out, and he's just like, oh my God, I'm going to use that memory later and just destroy myself. Because there was another scene where she's talking about like. You didn't want me to like touch you at that moment, and I'm like, yeah, I know why. It's because he had a raging heart on. And it was just like, please don't touch me right now. Please don't touch me right now.
There was also the scene before they rented that studio where Gojo was like, "Yeah, I'm going to rent the studio," because the last time they did something like this is when they went to the Love Hotel and insanity
and
ensued.
They were millimeters away from losing their virginity and saying, "Fuck the rules. Let's." I didn't bring a rubber, but for you, I don't care.
God.
But yeah, there was definitely some horny moments for sure. Marin being herself, bending over, picking something up, and he's just like, God damn, I'm gonna go over here and just pound my head in the wall.
Yeah.
But I guess to answer your question, what happens in all these series? Oh no, we're just friends. We're just friends. We're really good friends. We're not going out or anything.
Okay.
That's usually how it always works. Because come on, we got 12 more episodes to go.
What happens though if Toa presses the issue? Because I feel like the scene of her looking at Gojo is I feel like it's an indication that she's very suspicious and wants to get down to the issue. So like, what if she isn't satisfied with, oh, we're just friends?
Well, I mean, I don't know what else she could possibly ask. Like, will you guys hang out or not? Yeah, we're friends. Will you make costumes for her? Okay. Does that mean we're more than friends? You do her makeup for her. Okay. You're kind of really pressing it hard. And you also seem to blah, 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 and take her to cons. Okay, fine, we're fucking. Are you all happy now?
Yeah, I am actually. Thank you.
Yeah,
Can I watch?
You're a freak. Get away from me. No, I'm no matter what, they'll deny it. I don't see. I mean, I would be shocked if Marin was just like, no, we're not dating, but I like him. And then just like drop it right there in front of everybody. I'd be like, when has that ever happened in a series? Just skipping all the steps and just saying, yeah, I like him in front of all my friends.
Yeah.
So we gotta wait a bit before it progresses to where it needs to be.
Okay. Well, I don't think there's really anything else to talk about regarding this episode. Yeah. So I think it's safe to say that we can move on to Dandadan season 2, episode 2.
Now this, just like you said, Satsuki, should have been episode 1 of season 2. Like, I feel like this is where things this is a wonderful introduction to season 2. But I guess it's episode 2. So yeah, this was a great episode. This essentially, like, it's a GG heavy episode. Not a bad thing unless you're not a fan of GG, but I think it kind of shows it right there in the freaking thumbnail in the video. Well, not the thumbnail, but on the little GIF down there on the video alone. He's become the all-seeing eye, or whatever it's called.
The evil
naked eye. Oh, excuse me, the evil eye. And once again, animation-wise, great animation. They did really good. Looks good. Is good. Gigi is a all-loving and trusting person. Maybe he's a little too trusting. When you have a talking cat who's a turbo granny basically saying, don't do it. And he's just like, fuck you. And goes all the way to like not listen to that. It's just like, oh God, what's going to happen to this guy now?
Yeah, definitely going to talk about that more in depth. But we see a couple of things with this episode. We see the source of why Okarun, and later we see in this episode Momo are acting out, which is due to the influence of this of the earthworm emitting this weird light that is driving them crazy. For any of my people that played Bloodborne or even Elden Ring, it's more so Bloodborne. It kind of reminds me of the madness that you see. Oh, was that in the DLC that happened? No, actually, it was in the base game. It was in this one tower. There's this guy who you just see this light and you just start going crazy the more you look at it. So that's
Really?
kind of what that's kind of what the earthworm thing reminded me of. But throughout them freaking out, Gigi saving them from killing themselves and everything. There was even a scene where Turbo Granny saved Momo for killing herself just by being present and getting stabbed. But
I got stabbed.
we see Evil Eye interfere and stop the earthworm's psychic powers from incapacitating Momo and Okarum. And
Dude looks crazy.
yeah, bowl cut, slender arm body. He has like one of the worst builds I've ever seen out of a whatever he's supposed to be, demon, whatever, yokai. That's what they called him. But yeah, we're like, okay, his name is Evil Eye, so he's probably evil too. So
just a little bit.
Yeah. So when we see the earthworm versus him, it's kind of like a Jason versus Freddy situation. It's kind of like, who do you really want to win? Because at the end of the day, we're both going to lose.
Yeah.
So, which that's for real question. Who would you rather win out of that, Jason or Freddy, if you had to deal with one of them?
Damn. That's a great question because Jason's literally indestructible and can like get back up after dying multiple times. You can't shoot him, can't kill him, can't nothing. He's super fucking strong. And then there's Freddy, who isn't all that strong, but in the dreams, forget about it. He's invincible. I would say maybe I'd want to take on Freddy Krueger because if you get him out of the dream realm, he's basically weak because, he can't, that's what you do. You grab him, then you're like, wake me up. And then he gets into the real world and you can kill him. Jason, he's in the real world. And you can't grab him because he'll rip your fucking head off. So, yeah, I think Freddy, I'd want to take on Freddy over Jason.
I would go Jason just because with both of them, I'm saying I'm dying either way. And I'd rather just get a quote unquote quick death than whatever the fuck Freddy's going to hit me with. Because he's going to go in my dream and just start doing some random wacky shit, moving like the inflatable tube man, putting claws in my eye. I'm just going, please, no. just
true.
Cut my head off, please.
Freddy would torture you and use your fears against you in your dreams. As Jason, he would just, like that one dude, take your head and just turn it all the way around, and then you just be dead. Pray for death with him. Or
he'll punch your head off like he did in that one.
Right. What is that? I
think that's Jason Goes to New York.
Jason Takes Manhattan, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
Because the other guy's like, I'm a boxer. I'm going to beat. And he just takes all the punches and he literally tires himself out. And he's like, are you done? And then all it takes is one punch and just uppercuts the dude's head right off. Oh, man. So terrible. That movie was interesting too. Mm-hmm. Just group of guys just hanging, minding their own business, and Jason listens to that boombox and doesn't give a fuck and just knocks it down for no reason. It's like, why did he do that? I know he's a ruthless killer, but damn.
All right, getting back to it, we see the backstory for Evil Eye within this episode. It's a backstory where we see him locked in the shed, starving, and then he just sees kids outside doing and he's like, wow, they're having so much fun. I'm so hungry.
Why am I locked up in here? No.
And then to make matters worse, then he's later sacrificed by the Keto family from the story that we know of them quelling the volcano and basically feeding the earthworm. So that's why their stories are intertwined. That's why we got the story that we got in episode 1. to bring about this because it literally directly ties into Evil Eye's backstory and why he is the way he is. Because we go further because he doesn't turn evil immediately. He's still a good kid, you know. He's trying to hit the dance for kids, but their parents are inevitably killing themselves.
No.
And he's like, wait a minute.
This isn't happening.
He's like,
why?
Like, yeah, y'all don't like the dance? It's like, why are you killing? Why are you killing
need some
yourself?
new dance moves.
Why are you killing yourself? Is it that bad?
Jesus. Yeah, it's so bad that the parents die, but the kids are alive. I don't know if it's one of those things where, like, because the kids stay alive. It's like, doing that dance or whatever because he's like some kind of like spirit or whatever yokai.
Well,
that it just only doesn't affect kids, but it does the parents.
Well, yeah. Well, of course we don't know we don't know why, but we can infer that it's not affecting children because we see that the Keto family ultimately are the people that end up killing him and sacrificing him. Like, we know their whole story of them getting these kids and sacrificing them so for the village's prosperity and whatnot. So I think it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility of him just having a malicious attitude towards adults, grown-ups, because those are the people that ultimately got him killed, while the children were the one thing that he got to see out the window. He wanted to play with them. Like, even this is jumping ahead a little, but even in him making tricking Gigi into taking over his body and using it as a vessel, he says, what Gigi says specifically was, like, I'll play with you forever. Like, you know, a very childish thing. So I think he just thinks in a childish manner. So for him, children aren't on the totem pole for who he should punish, because everything that he's doing is very like reflective of the pain and the mistreatment he's experienced at the hands of adults.
Yeah. He does kind of like make a little declaration, so to speak, where he was like, I will get my revenge on the family. I will get them back. And he was true to his word. He slowly was taking them out, and he eventually got the rest of them with that earthworm, thank God. Then we don't have to deal with their statutory rapey asses anymore. Thank you, worm.
Thank you.
Yeah, those
unsung hero. He died too soon.
Yeah, he really did. He died too soon. Because once Gigi got taken over, he was playing soccer with his body, just slapping his head off. Good thing the head can regenerate. Like, I mean, technically worms can regenerate their body parts. I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm like, it's true to what it is.
Do you think, I'm going to ask you this question, do you think Evil Eye playing soccer has to do with his own, like, athletic ability, or is that directly influenced from Gigi having being a soccer fanatic?
I mean, to be honest, it points to Gigi being the soccer fanatic. I mean, I think it kind of like fits with his personality. It's like the bodies become one, so to speak, after it gets taken over. It's like maybe the subconscious mind where, I mean, he did just get the powers and everything. He was just testing it out. He did form a ball, but then he decided to use it to kick it. He could have threw it for all we knew, but he kicked it. So I was just like, yeah, that's a GG thing.
The reason I asked this, and this goes into like what you said to start this off with, Gigi making a foolish decision to trust Evil Eye and befriend him in the first place. I'm thinking Gigi ultimately, for them to beat Evil Eye, is not going to be through brute force. Brute force is going to be a part of it in defending themselves, because this is a face it, there's a battle shonen type of series. But I think ultimately how they win or how the threat is neutralized is through the love and the friendship that Evil Eye was never afforded. You know, it's kind of like it's kind of similar to what we got with
Ballerina.
Yes, her. Shit, what was her name?
Pink hair.
No,
Is it Ira? I know who you're talking about though, but it was the single mother ballerina girl.
Yeah.
That got her life snatched away because of some like home invasion.
Yeah, because a lot of things that we're seeing with these demons, ghosts, and whatnot, these vengeful spirits, is that there is a
acrobatic Silky.
Yes, acrobatic Silky. Is that they've experienced these mistreatment in their life, and they're coming back to pay people back tenfold. So Evil Eye, I think, is just a more extreme example of this. You know, he's definitely probably going to be the strongest one that we've seen thus far. But
really strong.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, he's just like acrobatic Silky, or he's just like Turbo Granny, where they had good intentions in some of the things they were doing, but ultimately they became vengeful and malicious and vindictive. So I think it's going to be up to Gigi, and I think one of his shining moments this season is going to be able to make Evil Eye. I don't even know if he could be Good Eye, but maybe Gooder Eye, Better Eye. I don't know. He has to strip the evilness from Evil Eye. So
he's just gonna be the Eye, Private Eye.
Like, essentially, he'll have like I believe he's going to have like a Hercule moment where he, takes the evil away from Evil Eye.
Yeah. This is going to be Gigi's new power. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind this is what it's going to be, because everybody has their own powers now. Gigi's the next person to get one, so he's going to have that one. What a good power up too.
Well, they have talked about how he has like great potential, like a crazy psychic ability.
Yeah, Seiko kept calling him a genius. I thought it was because he kept flattering her, but apparently it's because he's got great potential. It's like, why does Seiko never clarify anything she says to these kids ever?
She's old.
She's old and hot, but she just assumes that they know what to talk about. It's like, yeah, as she smokes her cigarette, don't you know, stupid? That's what I meant. It's like, you're awful. You're a terrible person. You could have at least said that he was a great vessel, and maybe, I don't know, something like this wouldn't have happened if you would have said something.
Yeah.
But that's Seiko for you.
Yeah, so Evil Eye has Gigi's body. And Okaroon stops Evil Eye before he can kill Momo, because Evil Eye wants to kill all humans. He's crashing out. He's done with everything. He doesn't give a fuck. And it's up to the guys, Momo, Okaroon, and I think most importantly Gigi, to stop this guy, because he's looking pretty dangerous thus far. I mean, he was going through going through Momo's barrier like it wasn't even there.
Yeah.
To be honest though, strong. I don't know how much of a feat that is, considering that the Keto family, at least that one mom was able to go through that shit.
Oh my god. You're right. When you really think about it, yeah. Maybe Momo's the weakest character. She doesn't even have a freaking power. I mean, yeah, she has her psychic abilities, but she can't turn into another being like the other three can. Sorry, Momo, you gotta step it up.
You might be right.
I like how Turbo Granny brings good luck, but it can also bring good luck to the enemy. Damn. Yeah, like when the worm was like leaking some goo to like get down to the bottom or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, sorry, I mean, I bring too much good luck. Sometimes it's to the enemy. In this case, I fucked y'all.
I don't even know what that worm can do. He was just doing a whole bunch of shit that didn't even like tie together. He has some eye power or some light power that can make you kill yourself. He has some lightning power, and then he has some sticky glue power. This shit doesn't even go together. He just does whatever he can, whatever they want him to do.
He's literally like, I can pull powers out of my ass, and I can do whatever I want. Really? Yeah, you can't touch this.
Yeah. Yeah, this episode I felt was a true introduction into the season. This is what I feel makes it. This feels like it's the start of a new arc. And this, I think, is what we all should be excited for. Because now we have a genuine antagonist. We have a reason for Gigi being here in the first place. Like we can look forward to a character arc regarding him and this whole thing with Evil Eye. Because I think it's going to be, to me, what I see with how this thing is playing out is, for any of my people that watch Naruto, I think it's going to be a reverse Kurama or a reverse Nine-Tailed Fox situation where Gigi is now the good person inside the evil body, and he's going to try to influence Evil Eye in a way to dissuade him from killing all the humans, because he definitely has the potential considering what we see. And if he gets loose, which he's going to get loose. So it's going to be up to Gigi to minimize casualties, because he could definitely do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Then it's going to be GG's for the human race. I'm sorry. I had to.
Yeah, my grandma might die. You making jokes?
I'm sorry. GG's. GG's. But no, this is a great episode. Really slick animation. Looks so good. Cliffhanger. I'm just like, oh no, it's a cliff. Well, they got to end it like that. I felt like this episode went by quick, but you know, that just means that they're doing their job, because now I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Well, it is time to talk about our next show. None other than Kaoru Hana, episode 1.
Oh, how sweet. It's a romance. Oh, it's another romance this summer. Oh.
Yeah, another high school romance. And yeah, high school romance, not middle school romance, you big idiot. Now I'm talking about Rentaro.
Yes, it is true. We get ourselves introduced to this big old towering, lumbering, bully-looking guy, Rentaro. He's just gonna fuck everyone up. I'm just so evil. He doesn't even. I mean, to be fair, it's only episode 1, but from what I see, he's just intimidating looking. He doesn't seem all that bad. Yeah. He's just a big cuddly little teddy bear.
Yeah, it's just the whole. It's the whole. I mean, he has the entire delinquent look. You know, the blonde hair, the piercings, the kind of like sharp eyes. So because of that, of course, people have a stigma about him. They misjudge him without knowing him.
His friends too.
But
those girls.
Okay, yeah, the girls we got to talk about. Let's save that for a little bit.
Oh,
but
okay.
But I was actually surprised by this first episode just because he had friends. Usually with these stories, they're always
alone.
Yeah, they're always isolated completely. But he had a whole bunch of friends. So I was like, oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing, because I agree. The loner, the lone wolf, he beats everybody up. He's always by himself, yada yada. No, he had some friends. They came up to him. Rentaro, hey, you want to hang out after school? okay. He walked right along. It's like, yeah, let's do something.
Mm-hmm.
That was refreshing. I will admit that was really cool to see. At least he's not a delinquent by himself. He's a delinquent, but also has brothers in arms, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, those damn girls.
So
I have never seen a more disgusting pair of women in my life.
we have what goes on with this story is we have the Kyoko school, which is an all-girl school, very prestigious, high-end, and for some reason it is right next to another high school, which is called Chidori. So we have our Chidori boys, and we have our Kikyo girls. And the Chidori boys, it's a public school. It's more rowdy. It's with the undesirable, so to speak. And again, this school is right next to each other, so much so that you can look out the window from Ritaro's point of view, and you can see one of the Kyoko girls and it not be weird. But yeah, because the Kyoko girls are, in this prestige private school and whatnot, they view the Chidori boys as the scum of the earth. They look at them with disdain. They look at them with disgust. Yeah, they are clutching their pearls at the sight of any Chidori boys.
And okay, so one of Ritaro's friends picks up one of their handkerchiefs and was like, "Oh, excuse me, miss, you dropped this. The nice thing that you do. I mean, I didn't see any harm in it." But then these two women were like, "No, you can keep it.
Why don't you wipe your ass with it? I know that's what you want to do."
Yeah. Why don't you just stuff it in your ball sack and just like sniff it and just fuck yourself with it? Like pretty much is what they said, even though they didn't say it. But it's like
That's what I heard.
I think even one of the girls was just like, "I'm just gonna get a new one anyway." It's like, well, fuck you too, bitch. What was that? That was so. I was literally like, there's like, oh, that's okay, but they were just like hostile. They were mean. I would understand if they were like being rowdy and being dumb, but they were just being nice.
It seems like the Kyoko school is what happens if you take an isolated class, like an elementary class, and you tell them that boys have cooties or something, and they grow up thinking that the entire way. they just think that the whole way.
Right, and that men are no good, and that they'll influence you, and that by touching them, you holding their hand, they're going to get you pregnant. Just doing something Amelia would think. She's like, "I'm pregnant now. You better take responsibility." What? Yeah, holding hands. Damn it, Puck. But yeah, that's what happened in that episode. And I was just like, I don't care very much for the Kikyo girls. I hope they go to hell.
Damn. Well, what is good, Choco in the chat? He said that is my nephew. He contaminated it. Well, so what we can kind of see the setup for this whole thing. It's kind of what we expressed last week when we said we were covering the show. I mentioned that I feel like it's going to bring like this Shrek and Fiona story to the forefront, and what I mean by that is, different classes. You have a girl who is sheltered, more so, but is going to be accepting of the guy who is looked at and viewed at in a negative light by mostly everybody. Everybody are in the world, and that seems to be the case. The Kyoko girls all hate not only Rentaro but all the Chidori boys, and Kaoru comes from. She is a Kikyo girl, one of the good ones, and she seems to at least appreciate Rentaro. We're going to talk more about that, but yeah. We're seeing like this difference in class between the Chidori and Kikyo girls, and that's going to be a conflict that I think is going to seep into the budding relationship of Rentaro and Kaoru as we progress.
Yeah, we're gonna get the typical, "Oh, you're with a Chidori boy," and then the guy's going, "Oh, she's a Kikyo girl. Is she hot?" It's just that kind of stuff, and it's just gonna be like, yeah, we know where this is going. I forbid you to be with them. No, I will not forbid. I will go.
But there's one thing that links both parties together.
That's right. It's the cake shop that Rintaro's mom has.
Cake. Everybody loves cake. Just like everybody loves bunny. Everybody loves cake.
Everybody loves bunny girls. Everybody.
Don't you know? Gojo.
Don't you know it? Okay, stop giving me this absolutely horrible look. So Rintaro's mom owns a cake shop. I don't know how popular it is, but it seems like it's doing well.
Yeah. Looks like a local kind of like low-key cake shop. But
a literal mom but no pop shop.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, we don't know if the dad is there, but yeah.
True. 50-50 chance he's either dead or divorced.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna say he's dead. That's why he's a delinquent. He had a rough childhood without his dad, and he had to take it out on the world. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know anything about the manga, but Rintaro's just he's an old cake shoppy, whatever. And we're introduced to a sweet, angelic, tiny little girl by the name of Kaoru.
Who's not a middle schooler.
Who's not a middle schooler. She's just really short, thus making her seem like a middle schooler, but she's a high schooler. Hell, I'm going to even say she's probably older than him.
I would definitely see them doing that just for the irony of it.
Yeah, I'm going to 100% say that she's older than him. Like, it's at 99.9%. And I agree, Satsuki. She's wolfing down some cakes like a fat ass.
The bottomless abyss that is her stomach cannot be filled with anything else but cakes. Yeah, she's just destroying those cakes, like keeping that shop afloat by herself.
She's the reason Rentaro will be able to go to college. Literally, it's like, I have enough to retire. I have enough to keep this whole place afloat. And if you want to, Rentaro, you're going to college. All because of this woman. Wow.
Yeah.
But yes, she's introduced, and she's oh so well. She's kind of like all the other girls, where she's just like, I have to run to the bathroom. I just ate 50 cakes later, and then just like, was it something I said?
Yeah. So their first meeting is in Ideal because she runs away from Rentaro. And Rentaro, of course, being very insecure about his appearance and the way people treat him, thinks it's him. Thinks she ran away because she thought he was a delinquent and wanted nothing to do with him. So he's busy feeling sorry for himself. And this is a scene I want to talk about because his mom confronts him about this, and this is definitely a lingering thing that happens with Rentaro that she acknowledges, because she's like, she just addresses the issue. She's like, yeah, it's not your fault that she ran away. You need to realize that. But of course, he doesn't believe that to be the case, because at the end of the day, all he can really go off of are the results. Like, his mom can say this and that, but if people keep on running away from him just for him existing, then he's going to believe that his existence is the problem.
Yeah. And it feels like something happened to him, like, when he was a kid too, because there's like a moment of where he remembers things and there's flashbacks, and of course, just like in animes, that people that think that they're talking to themselves or their friends, they're talking really loud, and they're just like, wow, he sure is a delinquent. And he's tall, and he's The horrible looking, yeah. We should all not be his friends. Like, damn,
Yeah,
that's rough.
gotta let him know covertly, of course.
Right. We gotta whisper it, and by whisper I mean we gotta yell really loud.
Fucking sucks.
He smells like ass.
Yeah. What is good, David? What is good, Trayvon?
Yes, hello everybody.
So, yeah, even Rintaro's friends try to cheer him up because he's kind of sulking at school, and it doesn't work. Which good on the friend group so far. The friend group seems very, very solid.
Yeah,
So
yeah, they're really cool. They didn't go, what's wrong with him? I don't know. I mean, he's a big old dumbass. Because you sometimes get those friends that just can't read the room and don't know what's going on in their friend's life. It's like, why are they even their friend?
Mhm.
They're just so dummy. But no, they're good friends. They understand what's going on. It's like, hey, man, it's not your fault. It was just the girl. She's a big old stickler. Who cares? It's Friday. You ain't got no job. And you ain't got no shit to do. Actually, I have to go work at the cake shop. Oh man, damn it. Give me home some cake.
Which
Wait.
that's also another thing. None of his friends know about the cake shop thing, which I think shows again his insecurities with. I guess is a weird thing with this in particular is he doesn't tell his friends about the cake shop. I feel because I think it would hurt his image of being a delinquent, where he's afraid too of being vulnerable with his friends too, because
Yeah.
he has this appearance and maybe they just became friends with him because they knew that he wasn't actually a bad person, but he still doesn't trust them with everything regarding his life.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who, at the very beginning of this episode, two people were looking for him, and all Rintaro did was go, sup, and they ran like cowards. So it's like, is it one of those things where his reputation precedes him, or is he really that scary of a dude?
Yeah. So, there is a scene, or actually no, because this is another big part of the thing. Because Kaoru comes back to the shop to apologize for running away from Rintaro.
I'm sorry. I had to take a massive dump. I do apologize. I ate 50 fucking cakes and there was no toilet paper. I had to run.
Ellie said, my chat can see you both, but you're muted for spoilers. What is good, Ellie? What is good, Ellie's chat?
Yeah, hello, Ellie, in your chat.
What was I gonna say? But yeah, they just have a conversation, and yeah, Kaoru's just being a sweetheart, saying she apologizes for running away, and basically telling Rintaro to not take it the wrong way. And of course, Rintaro wasn't really listening, but I think eventually he started to buy into it, and even started to appear to catch feelings because she was blushing, he was blushing, they were all blushing.
So cute.
Yeah.
Cuteness. I mean, she basically treats her to some cake, or he treats her. Somebody treats somebody to some cake. I know she brings it up.
Yeah, she treated him to cake, but he didn't want to accept the cake. So she said, okay, if you're not going to accept the cake, I'm damn sure going to eat the cake. And she ate it.
Yeah. And then she took a cake home as a way, basically a to-go treat. I'm like, this lady really is a bottomless pit. She just loves her sweets. She just loves her cake.
I don't know where it's going.
It going in one way and out the other. But yeah, she they make amends. They do their thing. It's like, nice meeting you. I'm gonna get this cake to go. And yeah, Rintaro's just like, well, that was lovely and pleasant. But what happened later wasn't lovely, nor was it pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we get, I feel like, happens in every other romance. It's not I mean, if it's not something like this, it's a groper on a train, or I don't know, people fucking bump into each other with bread in their mouth. It's basically a cliche in these romances anymore, and it's like, I don't. They need to change that.
Yeah, it is. I just refer to the two people because what we're referring to are the two people that were looking for Rentaro this entire episode end up cornering Kaoru and talking shit or whatever. I just refer to them as the romance budding rapist because they represent the cliche that EA was referring to, which we've seen in a lot of romance. The cliche that we're referring to are people who, to further advance romance, to make the guy, usually the guy figure, the protector, or to progress the romance and where the guy gets the opportunity to protect his girl. You gotta have the sexual deviants that corner her in the alley or do some weird sexual assault thing or
Why don't you come hang out with us?
Yeah. Mind you, this is, I feel like the scene, just watching the scene itself doesn't really emphasize how creepy and malicious this actually is, because these are two dudes. First of all, Kaoru is 4 foot nothing. So she's like this little midget girl, and you got these two guys who are towering over her at not at the dead of night, but at night. It is dark. Like the scene itself has to make it look like it's not dark, but like you gotta think it is dark, and then they just, hey, you want to go with us? Want to play some,
right?
You want to do some karaoke? Like, this is creepy as shit.
You want to play checkers at my house? My mom's asleep, and I have a limit of $20. We could order DoorDash.
Yeah. It is just like, it just doesn't look good. Even if their intention wasn't, even if they don't really represent the romance budding rapists, they definitely are suspicious, so to speak. This is not This is not W Riz, as they would say.
No, this is the big L, as the kids would also say. But they want to invite her over, but also talk shit about Kaoru. And Carl's like, you don't understand him. He's a great man because he just is. Again, mind you, Rentaro, and the cake was left. That's how he knew like something was wrong, because the mom was like, "Oh, she left her cake on the floor in front of our sidewalk. I think something happened to her. Oh shit, let me go and get her." Rentaro follows and just hides behind a corner and doesn't like stop immediately, but again, you got to advance the plot.
Yeah.
So
she's talking about me.
Hold on. She's romance budding rapists are after her, but let me just listen.
Does the aqua?
just waiting to see what happens, and then just all of a sudden, he's a great man. You guys don't know him, and what went from we're gonna have a fun time with you turns in. Well, I don't know if this happened because, like I said, they all just run together. Was he gonna like punch her?
Yes.
Okay, I was right then.
Yes.
So instead, like I said, it happens every time. So instead of hey baby, what are you doing? How you doing? Oh really? Well, if you're not gonna come with me, here comes my fist.
Fuck you, bitch! I ain't like you anyways. Let me prove it by punching. What?
Right. I wanted you to come over to my house literally 2 seconds ago, but now I'm gonna punch you in the face to show you how much I didn't want that. All right. So when Taro basically intervenes right there and goes, "Hey, what you motherfuckers," and then they Scooby-Doo run away. Whoa!
Yeah, the boogie.
Let's break it, guy.
The boogeyman came through. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what turns the whole thing from romance budding rapist to. It wasn't that funny. He came in and intervened and saved her life. That's precious.
Yeah, and yeah, because he doesn't even beat him up or anything. He just
No, they
protects
run
her.
away.
Yeah, and then he ends up cutting his head because like they hit him, and his head like
Yeah, he
hits-
blocked the punch with his head.
Yeah,
That's why I'm thinking. I don't even know if this guy fights. I honestly think his reputation precedes him, and maybe it's because of how he looks. They're scared of him because he didn't even throw a punch.
Yeah, that definitely could be the case. I mean, by all means, there isn't any indication personality wise that even would show that he is a violent individual. It really is just his appearance. So
right. This isn't like Renji from
yeah,
from Midori Days or anything. Who very first episode he's beating people up left and right.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, they have a cute moment of Rentaro, hearing what Kaoru had to say about him and just him feeling appreciated and realizing that there are people who can see him for who he actually is and not how he looks. So, the budding romance blooms there, I feel. And then later he finds out that Kaoru is a Kikyo and he's a Chidori boy. What does that mean?
Whist.
I don't know.
It means we're gonna get some crazy shenanigans up in here.
Maybe they're going to be the bridge for Kikyo and Chidori to, I don't know. Like they stopped the war. They bridged the gap.
Right. They just interlace their hands and hold each other's like, if they can do it, so can we. Oh my God. I can already see it happening. Their schools become one because of this fucking relationship.
Or they have like a joint school festival. I could see something like that.
Ooh, yeah. I could see that. Also, Trayvon, he changed his mind. LOL.
Fuck you.
Who's Wagyu Beef San? Joko says shout out to Wagyu Beef San. Do I know this man? Who was he in the series? Joko, if you could elaborate.
I think he's talking about one of the friends.
Oh. He must have gave him some beef because I don't remember that, to be honest. But so far when it comes to the first episode, does it have some stuff that's very cliche? Yeah. Is that a bad thing? Not if it's done right. Because there's so many things that you could look at and go, yeah, I've seen this before, but it's still good. Especially, it's fine, but I think the first episode's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be super unique in anything that you do to be good or anything. Like I think this first episode is a good first episode, especially considering like my skepticism going into these high school romance anime. Because the thing that I always worry about is, are they actually going to progress the relationship, or is this going to be this tease thing that they draw out to the end of the series? And I feel like the first episode was I thought the first episode was an indication that they are going to be serious about this and that it's not just going to be propped up and like, carrot on a stick. We're going
Right.
Should have been quicker than that.
You should have been quicker than that. You almost had it there. Oh, there's that. Yeah, I agree. I feel like we'll get more than that. Is it going to be the next episode or even like 2 or 3 episodes? No. I don't even see them getting together this season. And if they do, it'll of course be at the end. But I don't know much about the manga, and I know people giving it like good reviews and saying that's good and whatnot. But I guess we'll wait and see what happens. But so far, I'm liking it.
Hey, crazier things have happened. We have watched Insomniacs at the School, and we know what happened there.
That was a good one. Yeah.
That happened episode 10 or something like that. So
right, it wasn't even in the last episode. It was just like in the middle, maybe even a little after the middle of the the series, and it was just like, yeah, we're together. Really?
So yeah, I look forward to the series. I'm hoping that it breaks the jadedness of my position with high school romance anime. But that remains to be seen. First episode though is a good start. So
by episode 3, maybe we'll be saying something different when we kill it. I mean, what?
You never know. 2 more. Choco said I'm talking about Kaoru. Her last name is Wagari. I see. We are moving on to our last show of the podcast, and that is none other than the summer Hikaru died. Yeah.
That's a scary sound because this is a horror anime.
Is Hikaru actually dead?
I mean, they kind of laid it on thick the first episode and indicated that he was.
Oh.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he is.
I wasn't sure. Okay. So Hikaru's dead.
Yep. Because this was the summer that he died. Kind of perfect how it came out during the summer. Because if this would have come out in the winter season, it wouldn't have made sense. But yeah, the summer Kaoru died. Very first thing that we see in this series is 2 people. One guy's name is, what is that? Yoshiki?
Yoshiki.
Is it Yoshiki?
Yeah.
Yoshiki. Okay. And of course, Hikaru. We don't know what's going on. We know that Yoshiki's looking for Hikaru. Hikaru is on his back, laying, I don't know, like he's reaching up his arms, not towards the sun. This is one of those anime things. He's like, I'm dying. I need something to help me. Then something happens to him. We don't know what the fuck it was. And then it kind of like jumps to, I guess, modern times, because this was something that what happened? This was 6 weeks or 6 months?
6 months
that he was gone. That's a long time to be gone.
Yeah.
Hikaru was gone for 6 months in the mountains and then was like, I'm back.
Well, he was lost in the mountains for like a week, but he came back and he was dead at that point for 6 months. So it was like, for 6 months, Yoshiki was looking at him like, this guy's a little weird now. What's going on? And then that's when we get the scene where he confronts him ultimately, like, hey, you're not actually Hikaru, are you? He's like, he does the Michael Jackson turnaround thing in Thriller.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I did such a good job too. I thought I did such a good job. Which I will give this show credit where credit's due. It showed his true self, like the monster or whatever the fuck it is, in the first like 5 minutes. And it was one of those things like, it was kind of creepy in a way where it was just like, you found me out. But the monster was pleading with him and said, please don't tell anyone else. I love being a human.
Yeah.
I want to be like this.
And I don't want to kill you.
Right. He said kind of creepily. And I don't want to kill you, as he nibbles his ear. You know, just like, oh, God. And the reasoning as to why Yoshiki didn't say anything was sad. Because he was basically saying, this confirms that my friend is dead, but also I don't want this monster to leave because this is like the last remaining memory of my friend. And I'm like, God, that's deep. That's crazy. So I like from that whole scene alone, I was like interested. I was like, where are they going to take this series now? Because I'm curious to see what they're going to do. Because normally, like I said, that's usually like when you see the monster get revealed, that's at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at the very beginning. And I'm like, okay, what you going to do with it this time?
Well, Choco in the chat says, is this show scary? I can't do horrors. To me, it depends on your tolerance for what horror is, because there's different types of horror. So This horror is more on like the psychological aspect, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not a gory so far anyway. It's not a gory series. It's not like a ultra hyper violent series. But yeah, I would definitely say it's psychological.
Yeah. Not even like Junji Ito-esque. From again, we can only say like what we've seen from the first episode because it wasn't a lot of like, body horror, any like none of that. It hasn't presented itself to be super bloody or gory thus far. But I do think this first episode is just it's to I don't know, it's to lull you into a false sense of security where it's
I think
like
so too.
yeah, because I say that even though he already killed somebody in the first episode. But
like literally Haruko.
Yeah.
Hikaru. I can't speak.
Yeah. I say it lulls you into a false sense of security because Hikaru, by all intents, seems like he's hell bent on just being a normal guy. Like he's trying to live his life as Hikaru. But we see in this episode there's a guy who is seemingly like a monster demon hunter, Tanaka, and we also see that animals are able to identify Hikaru, or the being that resides in Hikaru. Like we see with and we see with Tanaka him carrying around a hamster to kind of like identify these things. So he's using like the hamster as like a divination object.
Yeah, that's a very interesting tool because I was wondering, I'm like, why has he got a little hamster in a wheel? But then he used it like that. It's like found this creepy entity inside the wall going, "Mommy." I'm like, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, just a little.
But he found it. Yeah, for sure. The little chubby cat, so cute. He's like, "Oh, look at him, he's a little pudgy. Oh, come here, get away!" And then just runs away from. Really, literally, I know what you are. I wish I had that drop because that's totally what that cat was saying.
But going back to what you said about Yoshiki, about like him just ignoring the whole thing with Hikaru. Yeah, it is a very sad situation. This first episode didn't go in depth about everything regarding all these characters, but you can see the setup for what's going on with Yoshiki. His home life doesn't seem warm. There's a scene where he's
a lot of arguing.
Yeah, where he's having a nightmare and his parents are arguing about who I assume to be his little sister because we only seen her briefly, about how she's
Isn't
not
he taking pills.
Yeah. So that's another thing. But he has a little sister who isn't going to school, and the mom is arguing with the dad because you kind of see the argument in the background. But it's a lot of things going on with him. He's dealing with the tragedy of his best friend dying, who we teased this at the beginning. I don't know how you feel about it, but I definitely feel there's more to their friendship than just friendship based on not only how it's affecting him, but I guess how it's been, how it's been presented. I definitely feel like there's a little more of a romantic implication, but I could be reading into it too much.
Yeah. I mean, well, because at the very end of the episode, because they have like a normal day at school together, but then when they walk home together, essentially Yoshiki just asks bluntly and says, "Do you love me?" And Hikaru says with a smile on his face, "Yeah, I love you." And that you could tell that really meant something to him, like because he said, "Hikaru never said that to me, nor would he ever say something like that to me." So this is a guy who, lost a friend, but on top of it, probably had those thoughts originally. But who knows? Like you said, it could be a reach, but at the same time, it'd be interesting if it was one of those type of romantic type of things where definitely messed up, but it's a I wonder if it would evolve into that, whereas like he tries to do more, even though he knows it's like a weird monster thing. That would be fucking weird.
Yeah, because with him saying that, it was a situation where it was. I think it's something that he wanted to hear, but considering the context of everything, it's something he didn't want to hear. It's something he wanted to hear in the past, but not something that he wanted to hear in that moment.
Right.
Because what it meant in a moment was that it's confirmation of his friend dying. You know, something that I feel that he, even though he seemingly accepted it in the beginning, it's something that I think he was still trying to run away from. But it is something that he wanted to hear in the past from the actual real living, breathing Hikaru.
Yeah, I think so too. That's probably why he keeps him around, not just as a friend, but also something more that he lost, so to speak. But it was interesting seeing Hikaru, the monster, experiencing experiences for the first time. Like he has apparently all the memories of Hikaru.
Yeah.
But he watched that same movie. So you watched that movie 5 times. This is the first time of me experiencing it. Like you've had this food before, but this is the first time me tasting it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. You remember experiencing it, but then you don't remember what it tastes like or what it looks like. That would be a weird feeling.
Yeah, you have the memory, but you don't have the feeling of it.
Right.
The Crepper Storm said the way he described taking over Hikaru's body and what it was like before, that kind of made him sound like Fushi. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, just like Fushi, it's one of these weird things to where he is an antagonist in a sense, or a villain in a sense, but he's also the protagonist, and we're seeing him experience all these things for the first time, and it's, I don't know, it's like this contrast of him, like the darkness that dwells with him, but just him having genuine innocent reactions to the things that he's experiencing for the first time, like when he's having ice cream, or all this stuff that he's seeing, or what you referenced with the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that pretty much all takes place. They had like kind of like a montage thing happen when those band people were playing outside, but we got like clips of pretty much, I think, is going to be future characters that we're going to discover in the series, is what I'm thinking, because I'm just like, I don't know anybody or what's going on, but I'm pretty sure it's just like it's a small town, because horror films, you always got to make it a small town. It's a little village. What's going on? Oh, what's going to happen? And then, of course, we get the old lady. That happens like kind of towards the end, where, it's always the crazy people or who you think are crazy that die first. And it's like, I seen it. It's a monster. It's over there. And it's the devil. What is she doing? Not just ignore her. She's crazy. She's talking nonsense. No, don't you come any closer, devil. I'm going in my house.
Yeah. Hikaru was locked in. He's just like, yeah, I can't have her snitch on me.
Right.
Well,
right. It's like, oh, I think I'm going to pay her a visit tonight. I mean, what?
Yeah. He ends up killing her. And we see this other guy who is who sees her dead, and he's like, oh, well, now he's going to kick my butt. So
Flats his dad.
Yeah. So not only are the existence of demons, I won't say it's like a commonplace thing for people, but it's something that at least enough people know about it to where it's not surprising. Because not only was she the old lady that died, able to identify who Hikaru actually was, we know there is some other demon hunter looking for Nonuki, and now this old man seemingly also knows what's going on. He's like, oh shit, that monster is after me. Because there was a ritual that they did, which I feel we can assume had something to do with why Hikaru was in the mountains for a whole week.
Right.
Because that was never explained to us why that happened.
Right, exactly. I definitely think that has a lot to do with it. And now this monster's about to fuck everyone up for that ritual that they tried on them. And I'm just like, oh God, they're all dead.
Yeah.
They're all dead.
Yeah. So it's a lot of mystery going on. We don't have all the answers, of course, but I think they set the foundation to make these mysteries interesting. Yeah. But also give it like to make a mystery interesting to me, you had to give us enough to make us go, huh? But then take away, strip it back a little bit to make us go, just wait. We'll reveal that later. You know, don't just. I didn't feel bombarded with this episode. I felt like everything was the amount of what we got was appropriate. The conflict with Yoshiki and seeing his friend in this with this monster taking over his body, super interesting. His home life, a lot of things going for this series thus far. Very intriguing.
Yeah, I'm definitely glad I gave it a chance because when we were going over the lists, it was just one of those where it's like, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to anime, horror is something that I feel like if it's done well, it can be really good. And there's like not that much horror anime. Not to say that, okay, I'm not saying there isn't a lot, but what I'm saying is, what animes do you get more of? Romance, slice of life, and then every once in a while you'll get like one horror anime that comes out like once a year or once a season. You're just like, well, I'm willing to give it a chance. So when I found out this was a horror anime, I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes because this could be really good. I mean, first episode has me locked in, and I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah. Good introduction to the series. I don't think there's anything. I think we talked about everything, unless there's something.
That was pretty much it. It was just, I feel like once again this was something that just flew by and went really quick. It's definitely gonna have the creepy atmosphere because there was moments where you could just, especially when the old lady died, you know, the monster was just like, this is whatever.
I'm already here.
Bring me right. And then just already ended. I'm already here. It's like, oh shit. What is this thing? It's creepy. Yeah. What does it do?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it. Curious to see where it goes from here. So, yeah.
Well. That about does it. Wraps up the podcast a lot faster than normal. Usually we're 3 hours plus. I
mean, when we don't have something bad to talk about, it kind of flies by.
That is true.
You know, and this season, by the way, we're not doing a Nakama Club. We just decided to take a break on it since we're going to be watching so much anime as it already is. And so far, nothing to complain about. I honestly feel like this is one of the best seasons of summer we've had in a long while so far. Again, I could be jumping the gun, but it's pretty solid this summer.
Yeah, I can say that as well. Usually summer and fall were the season that weren't doing good for us historically on the podcast, but especially fall. Yeah. This has looked like a very good summer season thus far. And then we got 2 more shows to add to the party next week. So
yep. Sakamoto Days and what was the other one?
Togen Aki.
Okay, for some reason I was gonna say Junji Ito, but I'm like, no, that's a person's name. That's not gonna be it.
But yeah, we do not have any viewer questions, so
wah, wah.
But if you want to submit any viewer questions for us to answer next week, there will be a link in the description. So all you do is click the link. You'll be open to the Google Doc. Ask us a question. Feel free. Ask as many as you like within reason. And we'll talk about it next week on the podcast. Trayvon said Call of the Night Season 2 is horror. And it had a good first episode. I read a little bit of Call of the Night, but
Trayvon said that this is the same studio as Apocalypse Hotel.
it is.
It has potential then. You know what? Anything that studio does, I'm willing to watch. I mean, I know that doesn't mean anything because it's always the art director and whatever, but still willing to give it a shot. And so far, so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the atmosphere down thus far, and that's very very important, especially with the horror series. Like,
right,
you want to
it's
have
not goofy.
Yeah, you want to have certain things down packed. I feel, especially the way Yoshiki is drawn. He just looks panicked and kind of devoid of life. So
Yeah.
I think they've been doing a really good job just with the, like you said, the art direction and the art in general.
Yeah, even Haruki's Haruka. Oh my god, I'm gonna get it eventually. His character is creepy too. His eyes are like it's like there's a life in there, but it's a dead life. Like they just captured the look of him perfectly. Like there's a monster hiding inside him. So,
Mm-hmm.
anything EA? Can I interest you in Uma Musume? Is that horse thing?
Yep.
I'm good, Choco. I'm not really into those type of games, but I thank you anyway for offering.
Well, he's talking about the anime.
Oh, like, did I ever watch it? I watched the first episode, and that was all I needed.
Oh, okay. Well,
because that was, the one where the main girl's just like, I've always wanted to be a horse racing girl, and then the coach was like, damn, your legs are nice, and then she slaps him, and I'm like, okay, well, that's all I needed to see.
well, Choco, you didn't get him. But
I'm sorry,
it's always
not
next
for
time.
me. Yep.
But that about wraps up the podcast. Appreciate you all for joining. We have our links to Patreon, our Blue Sky.
I dropped those again.
Yes, EA is about to drop it again, just in case you didn't see it at the beginning. But yes, follow us on Blue Sky. Check out our Patreon. It is only $1 effing dollar. What you can expect, at least in modern times, because it's been a while, but in modern times, you can expect us to talk about new Panty and Stalking, or at least just our first impressions of Panty and Stalking, probably 2 to 3 episodes. I already watched episode 1. So yeah, you can look forward to that on the Patreon, and amongst other things, and of course our backlog of what we already covered, which is extensive.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you may be. From the KOA podcast, we are out. Peace and love.
Later.